heard of the red-cockaded woodpecker? It doesn't surprise me if you haven't, because most endangered animals are not well-known animals. Over the summer, I worked at the Joseph W. Jones Ecological Research Center at Itchaway, a 29,000-acre plantation. I worked with a wildlife biologist that runs all the conservation efforts on Itchaway. A few of the main things that the red-cockaded woodpecker are observation, identification, and the creation of habitats. To begin, observation is a very good tool to help keep up with the species. The first area we observe is the movement of the adult chicks. The red-cockaded woodpecker is a cooperative breeding species, which means they live in family groups. Movement of the adults may vary because they go between clusters, which are cavity groups. The cavities that the red-cockaded woodpeckers live in need to be checked to protect them from predators and to make sure they have spaces to live. On Itchaway, there are about 50 clusters. All are checked once a month, but active clusters are checked once a week during nesting season. Checking the cavities involves sticking a camera into the cavity if there is unwanted gas like the flying squirrel or a snake. We have to remove them, and to do this we just climb up the tree and take the stuff out. The next important conservation method is identification. The red-cockaded woodpeckers are identified on Itchaway by bands that go around each leg. Banding the woodpeckers happens in about 5 to 8 days because they have a 10-day incubation period and fledge at about 25 days, as stated by Cynthia Abraham. In order for the woodpeckers to be banded, the licensed person goes up the tree and grabs them and then puts the bands on them using pliers. The bands that are put on the woodpeckers have importance due to coloration for identification as well as an identification number. The color bands are arranged in different orders to create a color combination for that specific bird. The identification number is located on the aluminum band that is required for all birds in the recovery program. The final part of the conservation process is the creation of habitat. The 5-year review of endangered species states there are a few management practices that add to the habitat of the red-cockaded woodpecker, like the artificial cavity installation and pine forest improvement. The inserting of artificial cavities is a large help to help expand the population of the red-cockaded woodpecker. Artificial cavities provide homes to many translocated woodpeckers that are brought to new areas in order to expand their population. The young woodpeckers benefit from the accessibility of the artificial cavities because it gives them a place to live after they fledge. AllAboutBirds.org says, improving the pine forest through prescribed fire is very important because the woodpecker is a habitat specialist, which means it's native only to open, mature pine forest ecosystems. Prescribed fire is key to creating a desirable mature pine stand because prescribed fire reduces the amount of hardwoods and overgrowth. The prescribed fire creates new vegetation, which provides plenty of insects for the red-cockaded woodpecker. The amount of extinct animals is always increasing, but there are ways to improve the populations, like what is done for the red-cockaded woodpecker. In conclusion, there are effective conservation methods that can help the red-cockaded woodpecker. Conservation methods like observation, identification, and creation of habitat are very effective in preserving the endangered species. Next time you hear a red-cockaded woodpecker, just think of all the species of animals who are endangered and could have been saved through conservation.